I wanted to break it down, but I guess break it down to three parts at first: the sales side of things, and then the personal growth, and then the creative side. But now what I'm hearing you're saying is that you've always had this creativity flair inside of you, but you never really tapped into it because you've always thought that maybe it's not innate or I have to go out there and get lessons. But then you were attracted to, I guess, your first partner, right? Or your
Mhm.
partner, that he was an artist. It was like the universe is trying to say something to you. I
Right.
almost felt like that.
I had a thing for artists in college. I dated a few different artists in college. And I feel like, yeah, it was like pushing it. It was like, here it is. Come on, girl. Wake
Yeah,
up. Here
exactly.
it is. And it was
Uh,
really a lack of confidence and a lack of patience and all the things that it, it, it wasn't the right time. But what it did was it gave my creativity a depth that had I started visually, I might not have the writing, right? I might have gotten really stuck in that visual part of it. And let's face it, there's not a shortage of visual stuff these days. There's all kinds of content creators, there's videographers, social media people, all of it, website, graphic designer. I mean, branding, photography, visual, there's not a shortage of that anywhere. So it helped me really in the long run so see the timing, you got to trust it. The divine timing is divine. When it's time, it will work. If it didn't work this time, this is not the right time. You just have to accept that. And there's a lot of things that kind of go into that. And whether or not your vessel's ready physically to be able to handle that blessing. What if your blessing requires you to work 50 hours a week for the next 6 months? Are you physically capable of holding that blessing and doing it? Do you have the stamina for it? Do you have the emotional fortitude it takes to do that for 6 months? Those are things that prevent us sometimes from getting our blessing. And we see people all the time that get their blessing before they're ready and they can't hold it, right? We see them. We see people become a star, see people become their athlete and they fizzle and they can't hold it.
Welcome to your Wordless Podcast, the space where we redefine success, self-worth, and transformation. I am Nick Nieras, the soul-centered architect of transformation, helping you unlock your highest potential and build a legacy beyond limits. Now, whether it is self-mastery, career breakthroughs, or wealth creation, this is where change begins. Now let's dive in.
Are you stuck in a job that you don't love, feeling like you're meant for more? It is not in your head, it is in your soul. I am Nick Nieras, and I help high achievers like you break free from burnout, rewire self-doubt, and build a life aligned with purpose through coaching, hypnotherapy, and soul activation. Because let's face it, real wealth isn't just about money. It is about a aligned and happy heart, mind, and soul. Now, remember, you are worthy and you are enough. Let's transform your life together. Visit www.thenicknierasholisticlifestyle.com to begin. What was it like growing up as Debra Bowers?
Well, I grew up in a really small town in Oklahoma in the United States. And it was I mean, I was born in the 60s and was, growing up in the 70s and early 80s. And it was a different time than it is now. I'm totally Gen X, and they're not lying when they say that in the US, Gen X, I mean, our parents just kicked us out of the house and we spent all day just running around, and there were no cell phones. They had to drive around to come and find us and call other people's houses, but they knew we weren't in those houses because their parents wouldn't let us in either.
Makes
I grew
sense.
up, and my daddy died when I was young, and my mom raised us as a single mom and a nurse, and I'm a middle kid, so I grew up very independent. And
Mm.
that really, and I was a smart kid. I was in the little gifted and talented program. I think they call it
Cluster.
enrichment or something now, but uh,
Right.
it definitely had an effect on me where I found my value through achievement. Right. So it made my mom happy if I achieved something. And I was quite good in school, I was an athlete and kind of an all around. I'm one of those annoying people that's pretty good at most things that I try and not everything. And I'm not like great at everything, but
You
first
strive.
time I'm just naturally good sometimes without ever having done it before sometimes. Anyway,
That
right? It's kind
yeah.
of, it can be annoying sometimes, I think, to people, but because of that, I didn't have a lot of kind of direction. I took a lot of math classes. I didn't really see myself as somebody that was creative necessarily, right? I didn't take art classes. I was way too busy taking serious things and for anything frivolous like art. Now, I did take music, but I was well into my adulthood before I discovered some creativity. And I didn't even know I was good at sales. Even when I was in college, I was getting my degree in communications and organizational communication and public speaking and that kind of thing. And I got a job because my roommate was the supervisor for the OSU Foundation, right? Who's not going to go work for their
Was that,
roommate?
is that even allowed?
I know.
Isn't there a conflict of interest? But anyway,
Girl,
those were the days.
there were no conflicts of interest
Exactly.
in these. It just no. Our roommate, so all of us girls, the roommate was Dan and he had just moved in and one of the roommates already worked there. And so I got a job there too. And we did telemarketing is Oklahoma State University, my alma mater. And I was, I think, a junior. And so we all signed up. I'm going to go telemarket. I don't even know how to do it, but Dan's going to be my boss.
And did you guys like this guy, Dan?
Yeah, Dan was super
Okay.
fun. And
Okay.
he was a little bit, he watched a lot of baseball and I thought that was kind of annoying, but
Right.
he's a guy. And so let him do that. It could be more annoying than that. But anyway, turns out I was really good at it. Right. So my senior year, I was telemarketer of the year. I raised more money than anyone else. And that job was what made me think about, "Hey, I might be kind of good at this sales thing. I don't even know exactly what that is and what that looks like as a career or a job. And I hadn't even thought about marketing. And so I just started slamming in some business and marketing classes those last 2 years that I was in college. And I went straight out of college into a sales job. And then I did that for about 3 years and then moved into marketing manager for that company. And kind of a weird way that it started just so I could go work for my roommate and have a really easy job. Honestly, that's the way the universe works, right? It puts people in our path to get us on the right track on what we're supposed to do. And that was it for me. It was the catalyst that really led me to what I'm passionate about today. But even then, I didn't see myself as really creative. My creativity came out as creative problem solving, creative negotiation, creative campaign planning, and promotional work, and eventually script writing for television commercials. So I did kind of get in that and then producing. So I had all kinds of great ideas on how to figure out how to make something work that we wanted to do in a TV commercial. Wasn't until and so great, ideas for funny campaigns, but I never created any of the work product, any of the ads themselves. And it wasn't until 2020. I was in my 50s. And I don't know why, but I had this great desire to paint. Like, I've always been a big art lover. I go to museums and all the new cities. In fact, I just went to the Dali, which is a Salvador Dali museum in St. Petersburg, Florida, of all places. And I had
Wow.
about 25 years ago. It was a different building then, and it's magnificent. So I love to find little, like, why is that there? That's such a weird place for it to be. So I always loved to check museums. My first husband was an artist. I've always loved art, but I never took lessons. I never attempted to do any of it. And I'm not a graphic designer. And so to make ads, you had to be an illustrator and all the things back then. The
Mm-hmm.
software was different. So in 2019, I started kind of messing with some photography and editing photography in an artistic way, some pop art stuff. And then in 2020, during the shutdown, I just had this desire to paint. And I wanted to paint my oldest daughter, my biological daughter's face. And I have no idea why I would think I could even do that because I've never had a class. I can't sketch. I can't draw. If you needed me to draw something right now, I might not be able to do it. But I found a photo that I had done some pop art kind of stuff too. And I thought, I'm going to paint this. And
Oh, so
right.
sweet.
And I did. I painted it and I painted her face and it looked exactly like the photograph, her face. But the rest of it, the hair, the background, no idea how to do. I don't know how I could paint the face. I could just do it. I could just do it. It was weird. And so I had to practice, like I painted the face perfectly kind of the first time, but everything else I painted over white like 5 times except for the face to try to figure out what I was going to do. But that gave me confidence. And now I love to paint. I've been working on a painting. I'm still very much an amateur because I don't have tons of time to spend doing it. But it's one of those things I just can do it. But I make all my own ads, all my print, all my social media, all my cover, everything, all the graphics. I do every ounce of it myself now. It hasn't been that long, right? And
You no Canva in between?
no, I use an Adobe Express. I've never
Right.
used Canva. It was Adobe Spark when I first started using it, and now you can edit video and everything in it. And you can convert to print and do all the things. And I love designing in it, and I've done it for a while now, and I'm good at it. They converted it over to video, and so I made my own trailer for my show. And folks, when I tell you, I have no training. That is not a skill that I just have, right? I mean, it's just not
Yes.
something that I went to school and learned how to do. I just already knew the ins and outs of the software itself, and the video worked really similar to that. And so the universe just blessed me, and it was part of my confidence builder when I brought my show in house and became solo host. It was a really big deal at
Now
the
I
beginning of
know.
the
I
year.
remember. Yeah. I
It was a
remember
really
why
big
we
deal.
had those difficulties. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I am
Because you brought it
finished
in-house.
recording season 3 now. So I'm about to start recording season 4, and I'm back. I'm still in my home studio that I'm in today. And so it was a blessing that that software developed at just the right time to give me a little bit more confidence. But it took me, I don't know, 54 years to find my artistic creativity in in a way, in a visual way, right? I was script writing and all kinds of creative promotional things, but I didn't have that visual aspect of it yet. And now I do. And it really has helped me understand better marketing aspects and have a little bit more control, but really stepping into my own creativity, because it is what makes me special, is my creativity and my ability to really tune in. And I've worked to get my mindset, but my creativity is something that I naturally have, and it makes me good at lots of things. So it makes me good at script writing. It makes me a good manager. I have creative ideas. It makes me good sales coach because I can always come back with something create. So that creativity developed in a non-visual way. And I think that has served me really well throughout my career, honestly.
I wanted to break it down, but I guess break it down to three parts at first: the sales side of things, and then the personal growth, and then the creative side. But now what I'm hearing you're saying is that you've always had this creativity flair inside of you, but you never really tap into it because you've always thought that maybe it's not innate or I have to go out there and get lessons. But then you were attracted to, I guess, your first partner, right? Or
Mhm.
your partner, that he was an artist. It was like the universe is trying to say something to you. I
Right.
almost felt like that.
I had a thing for artists in college. I dated a few different artists in college. And I feel like, yeah, it was like pushing it. It was like, here it is. Come on, girl.
Come,
Wake
yeah,
up. Here
exactly.
it is.
You know,
And And it
But
was
we,
really a lack of confidence and a lack of patience and all the things that it wasn't the right time. But what it did was it gave my creativity a depth that had I started visually, I might not have the writing, right? I might have gotten
that's
really
true.
stuck in that visual part of it. And let's face it, there's not a shortage of visual stuff these days. There's all kinds of content creators, there's videographers, social media people, all of it, website, graphic designer. I mean, branding, photography, visual, there's not a shortage of that anywhere. So it helped me really in the long run so see the timing, you got to trust it. The divine timing is divine. When it's time, it will work. If it didn't work this time, this is not the right time. You just have to accept that. And there's a lot of things that kind of go into that. And whether or not your vessel's ready physically to be able to handle that blessing. What if your blessing requires you to work 50 hours a week for the next 6 months? Are you physically capable of holding that blessing and doing it? Do you have the stamina for it? Do you have the emotional fortitude it takes to do that for 6 months? Those are things that prevent us sometimes from getting our blessing. And we see people all the time. They get their blessing before they're ready and they can't hold it, right? We see them. We see people become a star, see people become their athlete and they fizzle and they can't hold it. They're not ready yet, but they got it and they couldn't hold on to it. So I think all of that's really important. And when we get rejected, we should rejoice. Because if we hadn't have gotten rejected, we might have stepped into something that delayed our true blessing and true path even longer. Every time I've forced something, I've regretted it. Not really regret, but it's been problems, right? It's never been easy when you're forcing something. It's not supposed to feel like that. If it feels forced, then you're forcing yourself to go in a way you're not supposed to go. And I think that's true in sales. It happens all the time in sales. I will have a client or an employee in my past come to me and they will be bringing back this prospect. That prospect is not a deal. It wasn't a deal last month. It wasn't a deal the month before that. But they want it to be and they don't want to let go of it because it feels bad to let go of this thing. If I could just do this and fix it, then I could have it. That whole fix it
That
mentality.
fixing one. Yeah.
Right. I need to fix it so this isn't a reject. And I would rather do that and mull that over and wallow in the victimhood of that not being a deal. Whether you feel like a victim or not, that's what it is. It's scarcity mindset. So rather than go out and go prospecting and get another one, right? Let go of that because that deal is gone. It's gone. It's not a deal. If you drop your price and take that deal, that's going to be a problem customer. I promise you. It always is every single time. Somebody drops their price and they say, I feel like I need it. I need the money. I need it for whatever reason. I'm going to do it. It always turns out to be an issue because that customer's not meant for you. So step over those dimes, go prospecting, pick up some dollars, right? Get the one that's for you. Let go. Be willing to have rejection and rejoice in it. Man, that wasn't meant for me. Get out of my face. Bring it on. Bring me my things. Let go of it all the way. Otherwise, it's still taking up space and there's not room for what needs to come. So that's very true in sales. That's part of the mindset training for sales is understanding that what's meant for you is always for you. You just have to align with it and accept and make space, and it'll be yours.
God, we went straight into the whole thing about this
I got a little
energy
chill.
regulation and attraction. And okay, so I guess this flows nicely to my question then, Deborah. How do we know if one is right? I mean, we have this scorpionic intuition, but everybody,
Mhm.
to be honest, we have that. We all have that, but we tend to disregard that because we're afraid. Again, the scarcity mindset, right?
Right.
So now you've lived through so many experiences. What were your firsthand, I would say, examples of this coming out to play? And had you followed and had you not followed, do you think things would have been different?
First, I will say that when I started my life over in 2020, you and I have talked about this story before where my marriage fell apart. I raised 5 kids and they were all out of the nest. And then my mother passed away in 2021 and it was devastating beyond imagine. I was really not functional to a point, and I had to turn my life around. And a big part of that is changing your mindset, right? And being able to let go and not live in regret. So I spent a lot of time thinking about what if I'd have done this? What if I'd have made this decision? What if I'd have left my husband in 2013 the first time this happened? What if I'd have done this? I wouldn't be sitting in this position right now. I wouldn't, a lot of that. And I have to say that today I'm more in my own skin than I have been in a couple of decades. I worked hard to heal triggers so that I wouldn't walk around all upset over what other people were saying and doing, and to let go of those things. And so now I don't have any regrets. I don't wish I would have done anything differently, even the things that I'm not proud of. And there's a fair amount of that as well. I think we all sat in that space. The things that brought me to my knees, that I stayed there and cried forever, they were so painful. I don't regret those. I wouldn't let any of that go because all of that brought me to where I am right now. And I like it here, right? I'm finally in my own skin. If I gave up any of it, what if I wouldn't be here? What if I never make it back to here again? And so sometimes you have to, and in fact, I truly believe that we have to be grateful. We have to be grateful for the times that are painful, because if I can look at something and be grateful for the lesson and be grateful, like for my mother, she was diagnosed in 2017 with stage 3B lung cancer, and they gave us less than a 10% chance she would live 1 year, and she lived 5. And so I choose to be grateful for the 4 extra years, right? I'm so grateful. So our relationship changed in infinite ways over those 4 years. So I could wallow that she's not here and that she doesn't get to see my grandchild and she doesn't get to have all the things, and I don't have my person, because once you lose your parents, the people that know everything about you, they're gone. And so it's a very lonely feeling, even though every single person on the earth goes through the same thing. So it shouldn't feel so lonely, but it does. And you have to be grateful for those times too, in order to grow and understand that that's a part of it. If you can do that, it's a superpower. It is a superpower to be able to do that and to be grateful for the pain and for the challenges and for scrapping your way through it, right? And for making it through. That's the ultimate goal and the ultimate mindset hack. I can be grateful for it all, even the shit I did that I'm not proud of. Even that. I'm grateful for those mistakes. Believe you me, I'm never going to make them again. I hear that, universe. I do not need to learn those lessons again. Do not send that shit my way anymore. I don't want any more of that. I do not need to learn that again. I'm grateful for that lesson. But if you can do that, then you can do anything. You can do anything. And I'm living proof. I look back at a lot of things and I'm not perfect. A lot of it still gets me. A lot of it I'm like, man, that was rough. That stuff that doesn't feel good, that I wish I would have done differently, but I'm still grateful because it brought me here, and I like it here. I like it here. I don't want to go anywhere else. The path that led me here, I don't know that there's another one. So this is the deal.
Okay, I am very, very proud of how you made it to this stage where you can actually say, I like it here and I love it here. And I too have been on this journey, right? Spiritual journey the last 6 years. Having heard somebody like you said, okay, I'm in my 40s or 50s, 60s, even on my show. I'm like, am I, am I, should I wait for another moment to, for another path to open up before me? And I know it's a paradox to, living in the moment, because you're anticipating, meaning you're not present, right? But somehow I feel that the universe, because I believe in this, don't look at the messenger, look at the message. Because the universe is always speaking to us through everything and anything, if you're just aware and attentive enough. This is just my thoughts, these are some of the things that come up into mind whenever you say this, because I can get very, very deep in my own thoughts, and I overthink, both good
Well,
and
it's the
bad ways.
Scorpio way, right? It's the Scorpio way, that overthinking. Oh, it's
And we're trying to,
so hard to stop. It's so hard to stop.
and because we're very well in predicting, so to speak, but we always have our exit plans, B, C, D, E, F, all the way to,
Actually, I don't have those anymore.
right?
I'm
I used
rocking
to
the
have.
ride and wherever it takes me. But I will tell you that, so I meditate a lot, and I did something called the Theta Wellness Chamber. It puts you, it's like a pod, kind of like a tanning bed, kind of like a pod that you lay in, and it puts you in theta waves. So your brain, your mind heals when it's in theta. And it just really helped me be mentally strong. It cured a friend of mine's PTSD. It's amazing technology, but it just put me in this space where I can just let go of that. I just don't worry about anymore. It's like the next step in that. But what I know to be true is that your next path will come, and for me, there's a difference between, like, when it's your intuition, it's calm, right? It's not anxious. It doesn't feel scary. When when it's your true intuition, you just know, and it's calm. It's like when think your boyfriend's cheating on you, and
Yeah,
right, and you're
usually
like,
correct. Yeah.
I just know it. I just know it. And they're all wound up and upset and anxious and freaking out. Well, then you're probably just all up. You're in fight or flight. You're just triggered by something. But if you're like, oh man, nope, I just know, feel it in my bones. I just know. And you're not fired up, that anxious and worried about it and freaking out about it. You just know the truth. That's the difference between intuition and worry. Instead of so when I meditate, I've been getting these creative downloads. That's the only way to describe it. And my creativity is weird, and sometimes it'll hit me and it's kind of like vomiting. It just starts coming out, and it's unstoppable, and I can't stop. So the little tip of, oh, just write it down and put it in your
Yeah.
little idea
No.
jar. Oh no,
Me, I
I'm
can
busting
never, yeah.
that jar. That jar's knocked out of the way. Get out of my way. I don't have time to write anything down.
Exactly.
And the last time it happened, I've got a big project I'm working on because of one. And I was seriously on my hands and knees in my office with a whiteboard, just writing furiously when it came out of me. So if you can get to that point where I don't care what it is, just take me on my path, and anyone that isn't aligned with getting me there, just remove them from my life. And when you say those words and really mean them, man, don't be surprised with some people that will treat you really crappy and make you cut them out of your life. Even people that you love, family members. Because before, when I would say it, I would say those words lots of times when I was meditating and doing mantras or positive reinforcement, please remove things from my path that don't serve my goals and all the things. But always in the back of my mind, you have that, oh, but not this person. Oh, but not that client. Or, right, that little, oh, I hope it's not this. But the month that I let go of all of those, the little, like in marketing, the big print giveth and the small print taketh away, right? All of the little restrictions are at the bottom.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Fine prints. Okay.
yeah, the fine print taketh away.
Yes.
It's kind of like that. And as soon as I let go of that fine print, those little things, then man, people started dropping like flies out of my life, once that happens. But look, what does that do? That makes room for your blessings, right? Like I had this one person who always problems, and it's a family member that I love dearly, but always problems, always dominating my headspace, just, me using it up for stuff. And that's just not for me. And it doesn't align. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And this person treated me horribly after
That prayer.
I let go of all of that. And so now I don't have that negative energy, and it holds you back. It keeps you in a place like an anchor, right? It's anchoring you to a timeline, to a frequency, to a level, keeping you from that personal spiritual growth and uplifting to the next level where you can get all of your blessings. You've got kind of like this albatross hanging around you, which is, unfortunately, people, things, jobs, whatever it is that are not aligned with your future, that aren't supposed to go with you into your future. And so you've got all this stuff hanging on, and your vessel, you can only hold so much, right? You can only do so much. I can only have so much headspace, so much personal bandwidth available. And I don't want to spend it dealing with somebody else's bullshit, right? If I'm doing that and it's dominating all of my time, days out of my week, I end up with a conversation about somebody else's problems that they never want to change, for example. Then now I don't have that headspace available to generate the energy I
That's
need,
right.
that energy bubble, the momentum, the energetic momentum, not advertising momentum, because that comes later. Got to make it first. I've got to have that momentum. And you can't build momentum if you're dragging a bunch of weight that's trying to, like a tug of war, to pull you back down to where you were. Because once you start changing and elevating and doing new things, there are people in your life that don't want you to go. They don't want you to change. They want you to stay where they're comfortable. I'm comfortable with you being here for me and doing this for me all the time. And now that you've started this, you're not available to do those things anymore. And the answer is exactly. That's exactly right. I'm not. That's a good thing. I'm not. And that's a good thing. I can't be that and reach my own goals. At some point, you have to let go of helping and saving somebody because you're preventing them from solving their own karma.
Oh my God. Oh my
I
God.
saved you too many times. You're
just
not reaching your
bringing
own soul
some
goals,
dust.
right? Don't
Like,
stay over there. Let me come over here, and you can take all of that, and it all comes back into sales, right? Let go of those clients. Let go of them that are dominating all of your time, keeping you from prospecting, keeping you from going out and getting those clients that are going to head you towards your goals, whether that's your own business that you're selling, whether you're selling for somebody else, whether you're selling yourself at a job, right? You're at this job you're too scared to let go of, but you're unhappy. That's not the place you're supposed to be, or it wouldn't suck, right? Because like I said, I like it here. It doesn't suck here, right? So there's a place for everybody out there that doesn't suck. If you're somewhere and you're getting up every day and you're thinking, I hate this, this sucks, then guess what? You're not on the right path, and you have to let go of something to make space. That change is hard. Our brain wants to stay where it's comfortable. That's why people stay in horrible, abusive situations, because that's what we're used to. And we think anything else that has us on alert, we might be excited, but that's a real similar physical feeling to anxiety and fear and stress. We're just not used to it, right? So you just have to, which stress do you want, right? I want the good. I want the new. I want to find, I want to explore. I want to see the rest of it. And once you step away from all the media and all the expectations and believe, you're in your sales room, for example, and you see Nick over there is at the top of the board and dang, how does she keep doing it? I can be envious and I can be jealous or I can think that you're getting some kind of special treatment that I'm not getting. Or I can say, how can I get some of that? I need some of that good energy. I need some of that to rub off on me. I need to jump on that bandwagon. I need to excel her forward because that'll push me forward too. I'm going to support her. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to collaborate with her. I'm going to be on the good end of that. That's the mindset change that you need to be able to collaborate. You are competitive. If you're in sales, like I'm competitive. I was an athlete. I'm competitive. But I don't want that person to do poorly. I don't want to beat them in that sense. I want to do well. I want to do better than I did last time. And so rather than look at them with envy and think they're getting something and I deserve that and why am I not getting it? I'm like, I'm going to get me some of that. I'm going to see what they're doing. I like it. I'm going to associate with them. I'm going to be around people that are like that rather than with the people that are complaining that somebody's getting special treatment, or we all kind of have that womp womp kind of feeling sometimes when we're not doing well.
Whoa, it's me.
So you can let go of that and say, whatever they're doing, I'm going to go be around it. So it gets off on me. I want some of it. I don't want to take it from them. I just want a little bit of it to get on me, some of that magic that they've got going on. And I think that's a very healthy way to be around everybody. You see somebody
And
doing well.
Exactly. And it shows that you're the bigger person in the sense that, oh, because we all know and energy speaks first, the vibe speaks. So when you're seeing somebody, when you know they're doing well and you want to know, you want their recipe or just be in that circle, try to start with aligning if you can on their frequency where just be curious. If you're not even spiritual in a sense, just be curious and remove those envious feelings that you have towards them. And
because it really does just affect you negatively.
exactly.
And it hurts the whole, right? If you're selling the same products as they are and you wish them to sell less so that you can, right? That doesn't work. The whole momentum for the whole big whole, it has to be growing. And you can't have within your sales force that kind of backbiting, that wishing ill will
Yes.
upon each other, that it brings the whole down. So it's that old saying, if you leave a smoke-filled room, you come out smelling like smoke. So what kind of smoke do you want to be around? I want to be filled with people that have a positive outlook, that are hitting their goals. They're in that right mindset. I want to be around people that are better than me so that I can grow into how good they are. I don't want to be down with the people that are complainers or at the bottom that aren't, because that's not what I'm aligned with. I want to be around people and so that's what you got to do. You are who you surround yourself with. So those people I was talking about that
Soul sucking.
souls like that. I mean, they just aren't as far on their healing journey as I am, and they may never be, but
It's okay.
It is. It's
Yeah.
perfectly okay. I don't need their help to heal my karma, right? I can do that all by myself. But if they're in my 5 people, then they're holding that and they affect who the other 5 are. Because
Yes.
if you're aspiring to greatness and you're trying to be in a group or have your circle of influence include people that are better than you and they see a dreg, right? It affects the energy that you are who you surround yourself with. You are who your energy goes to, and part of that energetic bubble and who you let in. It's important. It's really, really important. When I was a sales manager, I would fire somebody faster for a bad attitude than I would poor performance.
Right.
because
Right?
they will
I just,
bring the whole room down. They'll bring the whole room down, and you'll have people complaining over, why is the grass green? I mean, you just know, but because it feeds off of whether it's positive or negative, it all balls up and feeds together. So boy, if I had that, you get one, it stands out. When you don't have that anywhere in your whole team, you get one person in there all of a sudden that's like that. You can feel it, you can hear it. Something's not right, and best to just get rid of it, because it will change the vibe of the entire team to have that one negative person in there. That's how important it is. Like, I could have somebody with horrible performance and have somebody that's doing well, but that's affecting the entire team negatively. I'm going to get rid of the person that's doing well.
right. I think that's just us being very super sharp with which one gives us the vibe. I mean, I had this similar event, not firing people, but I had a tussle with my younger sister because she was giving me an attitude yesterday, and I lost it, and I gave her a few chances before, but now I told her, she came and apologized, and I told her, if I say yes and we'll get along again, but the next time you're gonna think that it's gonna be all right for you to do it again because I never took it seriously. So I did not use what do you call this? There was some screaming, but then after that I realized, it wasn't. I think there's some triggers that I needed to heal as well, because everybody that you meet is a reflection of what's something that you're not addressing, right? So, and I took a step back. I went away for a while, and then she came over, and I told her in the calmest tone possible, I gave her what I really felt that was inside my heart. I cried. Okay. I
Very
used to,
vulnerable for a Scorpio, my friend. Very vulnerable of you.
yes, I cried. And that's the thing. I never really cried, especially okay, earlier days, I was the one making people cry. Okay. And right now, the script has flipped, and to me crying, and I tried to make sense of it, and I said, I think because I really love this person, and that's why and it disappointed me to the fact that, oh, I thought you, and because she's my half sister, so there are things that I needed to work through with her as well, with how she came into my life, and for her
Mm-hmm.
to turn around and gave me that kind of attitude. It hurt me. So I told her this. I gave her what I felt, and she cried too. So I don't know. The second she cried, and she's a Leo, huh? She's
A
freaking
Leo.
hard headed. Yeah, and I guess that's why
I'm a Leo
she
moon, so
the
it's a
Leo
little bit,
sun.
a Leo moon is different a little bit than all the other Leo placements,
Oh
but
my god.
I will tell you another way that you and I are aligned is one of the people that I had to let go and that isn't in my life is my sister. And she's a sister that I grew up with, and I love her with my whole heart. I want nothing but goodness and blessings for her, but I cannot have her in my life. She screams at me, and I don't have and blames me for things that aren't my fault. And she just is her glass is half empty, and she's not growing and fixing any of those things. Well, hopefully she is. I don't know. I'm no contact. So, but I wish her only goodness and happiness, but I cannot have her in my life. So again, it's kind of a similar situation in that it's that close of a relative, but that's how important it is. If somebody isn't healing and isn't growing with you and doesn't bring you anything good, then sometimes that's what you have to do. And I definitely did. And I feel so much better. I have room, right? I have room for something else in my life. I don't have to deal with that constantly. And I've worked hard to not allow the words and actions of others to affect me emotionally. Now, I'm not perfect. I still get it. I can talk myself down from it though. And that is really from Sadhguru. That lesson was a big focus of mine, which is no matter what chaos is happening around me, this is me. And I'm not giving that power away. We only truly have power over our thoughts. People can make us do things physically. They can do all kinds of things to us, but they cannot change what our thoughts are. And our thoughts generate our emotions. So the moment I let somebody, what they do or say, elicit a negative emotion in me, then I just gave that power to them. The only power I actually have. I just handed it to somebody else, and now they're in control of whether I'm mad or I'm upset or I'm frustrated or I'm angry. And that, boy, took me about a year of walking it back. Okay, you're not really upset with Nick. Why is this so upsetting to you? What they're doing doesn't have anything to do with your life. You're still you. You still get to do all the things that you've been doing. What's happening? And oftentimes for me, it's something from my past that's triggering, that I felt like that when I was young or something. A lot of times I don't even know what it is. And I truly believe that we carry a lot of ancestral karma with us. That so when you feel all upset about something and you have no idea why, and maybe you go to counseling and you talk and talk and you try to figure out what it could be and you never figure out what it is, well, maybe it wasn't yours. They've proven epigenetics. They've proven DNA memory is a real thing. So experiences, bad experiences and PTSD and trauma gets coded into our DNA and we pass that down and it has to be healed. So sometimes you feel that way and you don't know why. And you just got to feel it and work through it and let it go. And you're healing ancestral karma when you're doing that. The universe will bless you. The universe will bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a sign that my soul is expanding again after that encounter, because it was very, very out of the box for me, even for me. Like
To
I
be
would
able to
never.
stand up for yourself and set that boundary, now
Yes,
the key is to hold it, because it'll test you again, right? I let my
exactly.
sister back in my life, and it took about 6 weeks for the
For that
universe
too.
to show me yet again why I did that to begin with. And so I also don't need to learn that lesson again. If anybody out there that's in charge of those lessons, I don't need to learn that one again, because it does. It is painful. It's not like it's not painful for me. It is. It is painful to not have someone in my life that I love and care about, that has been in my life for most of it, right? I'm 18 months older than her. So it is. It's painful to not have that, but not nearly as painful as it is when the crazy comes and when all of the drama comes and all of that's dominated. It's not even my drama, right? It's not even my drama. And I'm all wrapped up in it. No, thank you. Pass. I'll pass. Pass. Hard pass. That's a hard
Hard
pass
pass. Yeah,
for
it's a
me,
hard pass.
right?
Have you ever had this where you prayed for something, that prayer keep people in your life or remove them, or even a blessing, have it make it stay in your life or remove the blessing out from your life, but then something comes along and it's almost like you have this inkling that the universe is testing you whether you take it or not.
You know, I found myself in a situation many times before, and even in recently in the last year, where I'm like, okay, I know I'm aligning. I've shed everybody. There's no one else for me to kick out of my life, right? There's
Yes, you're
nobody
going through
left.
that mental
I,
checklist
I
of who
I've
are your
lost.
friends and family members that
Well, just
okay.
to who's left, who's left,
Yeah,
because believe you me, once you start shedding, and I'm already a Scorpio, so man, the list is short anyway, right? I mean, I know a ton of people, but as far as the people that are on
I
the inner
know,
circle,
right? The inner circles,
that's
like,
right. And
uh-huh.
so you think, well, there's always something else left to shed, right? There always is. And I forgot the question. I got off on the funny.
You're asking for something, but then it's
Yes.
universe is giving you an inkling. Is it a test, or is it really that I should step into that blessing and really level myself up with that?
I have had that over the last year. I've had a person that was in my life as a client and as a friend, and a client on multiple different levels. I was on the board of their nonprofit, for example, and I kept thinking, and it was somebody that I had seen kind of romantically part time, off and on, and they would come back. I would think, "No, I'm done with that person," and they would come back. And sometimes after a fair amount of time where I've shed everybody else, so whoever's coming, it's going to be good, right? And then it's this person.
Yes,
And it's this
that's the
person
thing.
again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I've already passed this test. And so is this the test again? Or is this person changed and now they're coming back? Right. And I will tell you that in my experience, if I'm asking if it's a test, then it is. Then it is. Because if I have to ask that question, then I'm being tested. Otherwise,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
otherwise I'm just in it, right? And I'm in it and I'm not questioning it. And I don't even ask if it's a test because I'm either blissfully ignorant that it is, which means it's going to hurt and I'm going to grow a lot, or this is it. And I'm not being tested. This is a good relationship that I'm in. And I'm just here to tell you 100% of the time, if I questioned, is this a test? It was a damn test.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Okay. I'm getting my
every
answer
single
through you
time.
right now.
Every single time. And when I didn't accept that it was a test, it didn't mean I fell for it all the way, right?
Yes.
But
It'll hurt.
I also didn't let go of it all the way either. Right. So I'm
Yes.
in that
You're
phase
like,
that we talked about where I've got the
yeah.
thing hanging on and I can't let go of it because I'm pretending like I don't know that
Right.
this, whether it's the job, the relationship, the whatever it is, isn't aligned. I'm pretending that I don't know. I'm not really pretending, but I am. I'm not being honest with myself because if I were to stop and deep down, you just don't want that to be the truth. And that's because typically for me, it was the loss of potential or
Women and potential.
right?
We
The potential.
love nurturing. We see the best in people. And
I think
that's
it's
why
the opposite. I think
You think so?
I do. I think that unresolved childhood trauma often looks like us trying to convince a bad person to be good to us. And if we can't convince this person to be good to us, then somehow we're not valuable. And now it's like the full court press that I'm not letting this person go. This person is going to love me. I know they love me. But that doesn't mean that they're right for you, right? It's that whole thing where you're forcing it.
Okay, I'm getting the
know?
cue.
That's the deal. And we don't want it to be true. We want it to not be a test. We want it to be, oh, this person
You want
has been on this giant healing journey and they have come back
my
to
God.
me like the
Oh my
twin
God.
flame and they're in it now. We're going to get in our together phase. This is going to be it. I'm a Scorpio, so I've got a million different memes with all of that saved for me to go through and read and read in my own echo chamber and reinforce all of that. But what happens next is then the universe takes the client away, everything else around that person will be gone till there's nothing left. And you're like, I guess that was a test. I guess I'm dumb. And I should have, instead of just do it yourself. Right. So, but for me, I'm dumb. I'm a slow learner. And
Me too. You see, that's oxymoronic to us being an overachiever, competitive person. Because with the universe, we want to prove that we're at least give me some degree. I earned this. Like, I mean,
it is. It's that whole seeing value through achievement.
Yeah.
You get in that, I can't make this happen. I'm so headstrong. I'm not willing to give it up. I'm going to force it. I'm going to close this deal. I'm going to make this relationship work. I'm going to make this person realize how wonderful I am and that they need to treat me better than this. Whether it's a romantic partner, a business partner, a relative, a family member, whatever it is, a boss, whatever it is, it's this, you're compelled. I'm compelled to do it, right? I'm not letting go. They are going to realize it, not going to let go of it. But in truth, and you're forcing, you're hanging on to something that isn't real, right? It's not real. So, yep.
So,
There's your
okay.
answer. There's your answer,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
If you're asking yourself if it's a test, then it's a test.
Because the thought would
and
even
on the pass fail ratio, if you're asking yourself if it's a test or not,
if
the
it's
pass
right.
fail, you're teetering. You're teetering. Yes. And you can remind me of that someday that, Deborah, it's a test. That's going to be
Bro,
the
I
whole
already know
key.
it's a test right now. Like in my head, it's
You
a
know
test.
it is.
One is a test and one is actually, I feel it's a line.
Good.
For now. For now.
Here's the thing. I believe that the universe brings people into your life at the right time for you to achieve certain things. Sometimes that's a really hard lesson that you have to learn before you can move on to the next level. You got to learn it and release it and make space. Make space. You're holding all that stuff in. You got to get it out. So sometimes it's a karmic partner that comes to throw your world upside down or to show you a new way of doing something, or the friend that's going to have your back for the next 20 years, right? That you never thought that you would have. That's not somebody that you would typically have as a friend, for example. You just don't know. And on the other side of that, you also don't know the effect that you have on somebody's life. And of course, I'm older than you, but I have had people that I grew up with even. I had a friend and he came up to me and said, you changed my life. And I was like, when did I do that? I have no memory, but I had this conversation with him one time that he was struggling and he was like, and it just made me realize how important I am and and I was like in my 20s. I don't even remember the conversation. But he has been in my life since I was a child, and he and I are friends. And so I can see that I really believe those things about him. And I did back then too. I probably just spoke some Scorpio truth to him, right? But it changed his life forever. He's a nurse anesthetist and he has done fantastic things with his life. And partially because of some random conversation that wasn't random to him, but that I don't even really remember. But it had that dramatic of an effect. So we come into people's lives, even if it's for a brief moment, and have an impact on them. So trust that part of it and welcome new people that are different from you into your life and learn from them. And you will see those connections turn out to be important, if not now, later.
Bring it all in.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Deborah. Okay. Mindful of the time, 11:05 right now for you. A few more questions. Talk to us about what's exciting for you right now, your current project.
I am working on a big project. Probably will not be fully launched to the public till closer to the beginning of the year, but it's part of the big creative download that I had while I was meditating after I had been doing the Theta Chamber. And it's going to be really big. It is mindset training for sales. It's an online program. It's got a cool toolbox with it to give you all the tools to make it through all the stressful stuff that happens. And I'm really excited about it. I'm not in the studio yet. It is video that you'll be able to download and take the class and have the toolbox and all of the things. I'm really excited about it though. And I will be in the studio soon. I'm scripting and storyboarding right now, and it's growing, and I can't wait.
God,
wait.
my God,
I'll have to come back on. I'll have to come back on when it launches.
Yes,
and
please. Yes,
it'll be
please.
awesome. I'm really excited about it. And I think that all of the things I've learned in my life are really kind of converging into that. And it's going to really help people be able to deal with even the stress of selling yourself for job hunting or your own business or whatever that is. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll come back on and we'll talk all about it.
Exactly. All right. What is your heart's greatest wish?
You know, I would like to find balance on the earth. We have a lot of, well, let's face it, our earth is very masculine right now. It's full of masculine energy.
I
And
love
don't
that.
get me wrong, I love masculine energy.
Me
I
too.
love men. I'm very competitive, but there's a lack of femininity. And feminine energy has been so suppressed in the world. We have our energy through spirituality and through magnetism and frequency with the earth and sexuality and sensuality. And it has just been really suppressed. The earth is going to balance, right? The yin yang, the feminine and the masculine energy. And if you look, you often hear in America about the demasculation of men. And that gets blamed on feminism when frankly, then the exact opposite is true because we are nothing but a speck of dust in the life of the earth. And Mother Nature is always going to win. So if you suppress feminine energy in its natural way, the earth is going to find it to balance it somewhere. So there aren't very many places to go find that. And there aren't very many creatures on the planet that birth a human soul onto this planet. And that is what women do. And we carry that spirituality within us, and it's not threatening. We need masculine with it. I think that there is a misconception in the world about women want to take over and they want to suppress men. And I think the true feminist doesn't want to do that. What we really want to do, honestly, is go jogging on a wooded path alone with our earbuds in at night. If we can
That's
make it
right.
safe where we can do that, that'll solve, then all of the other problems will be solved. Because to solve that, it has to solve all of these other issues. But our masculine world, look at it. It's very physical. Masculine is physical in nature. I raised 2 girls and 3 boys, and boy, you get that mixture in there and you can see the difference in how they are by nature. And it's not a bad thing. We're meant to be that way. So if I could change anything in the world, that's what it would be because it would solve those problems. Women have the economy of spirituality, of feeding and of caring for people and healing people. And all of that has been lost in the name of control, power, and profit. And so bringing back that feminine energy and to succeed as a woman, for example, in corporate America, you have to adapt to that masculine energy and it feels wrong. And we aren't meant to hustle. We are meant to attract. We're magnetic. We're not meant to do all of those things, but we are also not at all comfortable in our own skin. When we are feminine, we, are horrible to one another and judgmental to other women because we're conditioned to think we're either pure or we're a prostitute. Ain't all of religion. We're either pure and virginal, like that exists, or is fun in any way. Nobody wants that person on their team. That's not my 5 people in my energy bubble, isn't some pure virginal woman. I mean, that first of all doesn't exist in reality, right?
Exactly.
That's not reality. So there's that. That's the only good. Or there's a prostitute, and neither of which is real or true. So this whole image and masculine, very consumer driven, drive population, all of that, that's what needs to change. Bring on the woman. Bring on spirituality and all of the good things, because guess what? Y'all are going to like it a lot more.
Mm.
They're going to like it a lot more.
Exactly.
Come on over here to the good side.
Yes. Sign me
Right?
up.
Come on over here. You will like it better, I promise you. So
I think we are moving towards that, albeit slowly, but we are moving.
I
Towards
think that there's a huge spiritual movement. And look, you're
yeah.
in Malaysia. I'm in Oklahoma. We're on the same spiritual path. right? Women all over the world are on this path. Men are too, but raising the spirituality of the earth, lots of astrological things happening to facilitate all of those things. So we are. It's happening. It's happening.
Yes.
I
I'm so
love it. I got a little
excited.
chill.
Yeah, me too. Okay, Deborah, if you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Let's see. It would be mindset is everything. Let me show you the way.
Simple yet profound.
Simple. Can't all be said in one single quote, right? So that's it. It's not that
I love
simple.
it. Okay, Deborah, how can people reach out to you? How can people find you?
Well, you can always find me at my podcast website, dealswithheels.com. You can download my free ebook, which is titled 5 Steps to Having a Mindset for Success. They're the 5 steps I actually took to change my life. It's short, quick read, and you can see what those steps are. From there, you can also be on I have an advertising agency, so that website also, and you can connect with me on pretty much any social media platform. Being in advertising and marketing, I have to be on them all, but LinkedIn is the best, probably, to get a hold of me professionally that way. And I'll give you links for all the show notes for all of those things.
Brilliant. So, Deborah, we have come to the tail end of our interview. Do you have any last message for our listeners?
Just to hang in there. Boy, there's some crazy stuff going on in the world right now. And I like to separate myself kind of from that and hold my own kind of spirit and know that I'm where I need to be. So really, it's just hang in there, be confident with yourself. I always encourage people, I do a challenge. So I challenge everybody for 30 days, every day, spend 5 minutes alone. No music, no media, no phone, nothing, just by yourself, sitting alone. I like to do it outside, but anywhere, taking a walk even, but with no distractions at all. And all the thoughts will come in your head. Just let them come. Just let them come. And eventually they clear themselves out. And by the time day 30 comes, you will see the way.
Thank you,
That's it.
Deborah. Well, that was an inspiring episode with Debra Bowers. Deborah, thank you so
Awesome.
much.
We
for the
always have
work.
the best conversations.
I know. And I know it's only about time we're gonna meet, in person. So
Yes.
manifesting it. Yes.
She's everybody, you hear her inviting me to Malaysia. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
I'm inviting you. Come to Oklahoma. You can come and stay with me.
Which one?
Oklahoma is in the dead center of the United States.
Oh my God. Okay, bye.
But we are landlocked here and it's hot right now. So it's going to be hotter.
Okay.
We're in the middle of summer, but we're right above Texas. Texas seems to be something that people know kind of where that is. And Oklahoma is the state that sits right above Texas, but it's in the center of the United States. So,
I mean, if I'm in the States, I would probably, because I've visited West and East, so why not this time?
well,
Center?
we can meet somewhere. I'll meet you there, right? But
Brilliant. Okay, we'll
right.
make a plan for sure.
We will. It's
right.
Now it's recorded. We've said it.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Now
yes.
it's out. It's in the ether. It's got to be done.
It's got to be done. Well, all right, Debra, you have a great evening. You are fantastic. Your soul is just impeccable, and I learned so much from you. Very inspirational. Thank you for the work that you do.
You're so welcome. It's my pleasure. I'm so grateful to be on the show. I can't wait to come back.
Thank you, Debra. Thank you for your time, and good evening to everybody listening. And good night wherever you are. Thank you. Yeah.
Love this episode? Now, transformation doesn't end here. Head on to @holistic.lifestyle_with_Nick. That is on my Instagram. Or head on to my website, www.denigneras.holisticlifestyle.blog for more info on my coaching framework, which is the worthy, authentic, and abundant frameworks, digital guides, and my upcoming events such as retreats and master classes and workshops. Now, I also do intuitive readings where we get to check on your soul path. And if you're also wanting to check on your energetic alignment, I have done that too. And I offer that kind of services. So, my question to you is, are you ready? Because I am. Let's make your together.
Good evening to you, Deborah. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'd like to say thank you to you for, coming onto my show the last time I was on your show. And I would love to pick your brains on what it means to be good in sales, but at the same time, infusing our feminine energy into it. Because I believe, gone are the days I feel that we should go, hustle, especially for females. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you. I'd like to introduce you first to all of our listeners, and then we can get right into the nitty-gritty of things.
All right, I'm down.
All right. So hello, everyone. We have Debra Bowers here with us. Debra is a sales and marketing expert with decades of experience in all forms of sales, advertising, and marketing. Now, she specializes in creative strategy, creative marketing plans, brands, and campaigns that drive business and sales mindset coaching. Her spiritual healing journey has been crucial to her success. Now, she is committed to sharing her struggles and helping other women develop emotional strength and confidence. Now, she's passionate, obviously, about women's issue and hosts a podcast titled Deals with Heels, where female entrepreneurs thrive, where she discusses marketing and sales strategy, mindset, and personal growth. Wow. Welcome to the show, Debra.